Just to get people a little bit excited about this Brazil experience. I'm excited about this, really excited about this for two reasons. One is I get to go to Brazil, then mainly, if you know anything about me, I'm real passionate about my Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm surprised I ain't got my Eagles hat on or nothing, my colors on, but I'm not home, so I ain't have all my proper stuff with me. Um, but no, I'm really excited about this. This is for some people, this will be a once in a lifetime experience. Uh, Brazil is not like around the corner. It's actually a 9 hour flight from JFK or from here, from the East Coast. And it's actually kind of history in the making because this will be the first NFL game that they'll have in Brazil. Now, they do this quite regularly every year in London for probably about the past 5 or 6 years. And the Eagles did play over there once. And if you know anything about Philadelphia Eagles fans, they travel huge. So this is going to be a kind of, it's just going to be crazy. Just the amount of people from Philly that will actually be in attendance for this event. So I'm not going to really keep y'all long. I'm going to just do a quick presentation, and then at the end we'll have a chance for some Q&A. So just allow me to just kind of breeze through this presentation real quick, and then I can always go back over some of the slides if there's something else somebody wanted to see or I didn't touch on. So again, this is an exclusive event for with Majestic Dream Vacations. This will take place. The actual game event is in September 6, 2024 in Sao Paulo. So just kind of give you a brief overview. We invite you to join us to the first game ever in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This experience is going to include a 3-night stay in Sao Paulo for the game. And then I figured, I mean, we're going all the way to Brazil. Who wants to just you're going to fly that far, spend 3 nights? Even though I know there's some people who will go down there just for the game. I'm not judging, I don't blame you. But when I thought about this experience, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to take advantage of another part of Brazil that's hugely popular. Now, there's many portions to Brazil when you talked about El Salvador, Bahia, the Iguana Falls, and things of that nature. But I figured at least we can take opportunity to spend some time on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. So the first part of the package will be a 3 nights in Sao Paulo. And then, let me see. And then the second part will be actually a 3-night options on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. And each package will include airport transportation, and we will include a city tour in each destination. Now, Sao Paulo will also include a transportation on the day of the game. So just to give you a brief overview of what happens in Sao Paulo. So we chose a hotel downtown in the Paulista area of Brazil. The stadium is going to be actually probably 30 to 40 minutes from the hotel. But the reason why we chose that is because, I mean, for most people, there are some people, there's going to be some wives, there's going to be some friends who come on this trip who could care less about the Eagles game, but they really want to be able to enjoy Brazil. So for this experience, we chose a hotel that's downtown Brazil in Sao Paulo, and then you'll have the opportunity to experience some of Sao Paulo's nightlife, some of their shopping districts, some of the malls, some of the bars and restaurants that are really popular in the Paulista area of Brazil. Um, so the first night is just going to be kind of a night at your leisure in Sao Paulo. Uh, and then the second day, we'll have a city tour, just probably like a 4 hour kind of leisure tour that'll kind of see some of the highlights of Sao Paulo. So you'll be able to get kind of familiar with the Brazilian lifestyle. And then on September 6th, so mostly we'll be leaving on September 3rd. And understand that the flight in itself from JFK or from BWI or in the Philadelphia area is a 9 hour flight, nonstop flight. There are some other people that are going to be coming from as far as Texas, California, and other areas. But if you're booking your own flight, make sure your flight is due to arrive on September 4th. Um, so the program itself will start on September 4th. We'll have 3 nights in Sao Paulo. So the first night, like I said, will be a day at leisure. I normally don't like to schedule anything on a travel day. At the most, we'll have like a welcome dinner. We'll find a nice little restaurant, have a welcome dinner for those who would like to join. Day two will be a city tour. We'll do like a half-day city tour through the highlight areas of Sao Paulo. And then day three is game day. That's going to be September the 6th. We don't have any information just yet on the game tickets, as that will become available probably the end of April, beginning of May. Depending on how many people we have interested, we'll look to get a block of tickets. But we're not going to include that in the initial package. This is not something we do every year, so we don't. I like to be frank and honest with you. I don't know how the game day tickets, um, when they come available, we'll have more information and give it to you at a time. You're going to see some packages out there that include game day tickets. People that probably do this on a regular basis. This is not. I'm not going to be honest with you. This is not a. We don't do big sports packages every year, but we do have a. I mean, I go to the games. I know how the tickets are. So once we get more information on that, we're going to provide those as well if people want to purchase a block of tickets from us. But the package itself will include 3 night hotel in Sao Paulo, breakfast daily. If you know me, I'm a bit of a hotel snob, so I've been searching high and low to make sure we have a really nice hotel experience at a decent cost as well. The dollar does pretty well in Sao Paulo. It'll include round trip ground transportation to Sao Paulo International Airport. Now that's kind of given that you come in at a certain time. If you're going to be coming in at a really odd time, we may have to might be additional cost for your transportation. And it includes Sao Paulo City Tour, and it include the game day transportation on September 6th. Now, typically, when they have an Eagles game in a different destination or any destination, tailgating is a very big thing. So that day of, more than likely, what we'll do is we're going to have 2 departure times leaving the hotel. One early in the morning for those who want to go tailgating, and then one in the afternoon for those who are just going for the game itself. And then we'll have one departure time for everybody coming back to the hotel. So if there's any type of situation where you want to go at a time that is not scheduled, one of the great things about Sao Paulo, Brazil is Uber works and it works very well. So there'll be always some other means of transportation that you'll be able to get to. So with that said, we also have a 6 night package. So the 6 night package will include the first 3 nights in Sao Paulo, which all those inclusions that we just listed before, 3 nights hotel with breakfast daily, ground transportation to and from Sao Paulo airport, city tour in Sao Paulo, also the game day transportation. But the 6 night package will also include an option for additional 3 nights here on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro. They have one of the best beaches throughout the world. Rio de Janeiro is historic. We'll be right here on Copacabana Beach. Just around the corner, if you go further down to the left, you have Ipanema Beach as well that you'll be able to have access to, and will include a transportation to and from the airport and a city tour in Rio de Janeiro. So if you don't know anything about Rio de Janeiro, it's very popular for uh, the Christ Church of Redeemer statue, the steps, which you'll see a picture of later. Um, for those who kind of adventurous and want to kind of go to, I'm gonna jack up the name, Lafayette, something, the Hood. You can go do a tour of that. I'm gonna leave that part alone. And then we'll also have some optional tours, like whether it's a cooking workshop. Um, if you really big into carnival, Brazil is huge. They actually just finished up their carnival about a week or two ago. So you'll be able to go to their carnival museum and just see how get involved and see how that process is or how they prepare for carnival. And then to those that we're going to go look into some things with the one of the Brazilian martial art dance called capoeira. So we'll have some opportunities to experience that. Um, but I am not one. Some people will probably disagree with me. I don't like to bog down people vacation time. So we'll have some optional things, but we'll have at least that city tour involved. So at least you'll have that to go off of. Again, Sao Paulo City Tour will be included. We'll have a pickup and drop off at the hotel close to the city center. We'll explore some areas like the Paulista Avenue, which is the big shopping area in Sao Paulo, and also Ibirapuera Park, which is a popular portion in Sao Paulo. The game day experience, like I said, game day tickets are not included in the initial package. But what we'll do is, like I said, closer to the dates when the tickets are available, um, hopefully we'll have the majority of people signed up at that time, and then we'll go look and get a block of tickets so we can all kind of sit together and enjoy the game together as well. But if there's like you want to be on a ground floor or something close to the field, um, you'll be more than welcome to go ahead and purchase those tickets yourself. Transportation will be provided for the game day. Like I said, 2 hotel departures. But as we get closer to departure, we'll have more information. So I'm going to actually put out a mailing list. So we have a newsletter for those who are particularly going to the game. So we'll constantly, probably every 30, 60 days, we'll put out a little bit more information as things are provided. Then in Rio de Janeiro, we'll have the city tour there. It'll be a pickup and drop off at the hotel. There'll be admission tickets to some of the popular attractions like the Church of Christ Redeemer and the cable cars that'll be involved and Sugarloaf Mountain. And then you'll be able to experience, well, we'll be staying on Copacabana Beach, so you'll be able to experience that every day. I hope you really most of you take advantage. Whoever is going, take advantage of this opportunity to see Rio de Janeiro. But if you're not, even with the 3 night packages, for those who are just planning to go to Sao Paulo, if you want to extend your stay there for additional nights, we can work that out as well. Uh, at this time, we're going to go through a little bit of the website so you'll be very familiar with the website, how to book, how to make payments, refund cancellation, passport, visa requirements. If you are serious about going, I highly, highly recommend as soon as you make your deposit that you'll start working on your e-visa for this trip. Um, Things are changing come April 1st, 2024, with their e-visa policy to Brazil. Not to get into full details, but the cost will be at least around $80. The process could take about a week or two, and there is some other requirements that I'm not going to go into full details, but there'll be a link on the website that you can read through. But one of the weird biggest requirements, I'm not sure why they have that, but it's one of them I read is that you have to have $2,000 in your bank account. So when you're going through the process, try to put a little something to the side, just in case that is actually an official. I'm going to do it ahead of time just so I can kind of next time we have a little call about this, I can speak more intelligently about the whole process. But for those who are already, because I know some people who ask me about going, they already have their visa for Brazil, and I believe it's good for a 10-year period. So if you have it, you're good to go. I wouldn't worry about that. And talk a bit about Brazil currency, which is called the real, and any health protocols, which right now there is no COVID requirements for Rio de Janeiro. So to get to the website, there'll be a link on our homepage at majesticdreamvacations.com. I'm going to actually paste this link in the chat as well that you'll be able to have and get to very easy. The trip dates. Trip dates. The first package is a 3-night package that travels. If you're leaving the East Coast, you'll be leaving on September 3rd, arriving on September 4th. So this is very important because sometimes people get this confused. We do a lot of long haul trips, and sometimes you'll see when they're looking up their flight, people don't realize every time you're looking up a flight and you see something next to the dates and it says +1 or +2, that's really kind of indicating that you're going to arrive a day later or 2 days later. So if you are booking your flight and you see something +2, you make sure you want to book your flight on the September 2nd. Or if you see +1, you want to book your flight to leave on September 3rd, because that means like most of the flights right now in the Philadelphia area, like most likely we'll be leaving out of JFK or BWI, they'll be leaving on the evening of September 3rd and arrive the morning of September 4th. So that's the 3-night package. And then the 6-night package, again, you'll be leaving on the 3rd, arrive on the 4th, 3 nights, the 4th to the 7th in Sao Paulo. And then on the 7th, we'll have an hour flight that's included in the initial 6-night package. You have an hour flight from Sao Paulo over to Rio de Janeiro as a nonstop flight. And then from the 7th until the 10th, you'll have 3 nights on the beaches of Rio de Janeiro and Copacabana. The arrival airport in Sao Paulo, the airport code is GRU. So if you're going to look up or Google or look up flight information, so for those like I said in the Philadelphia area, you could put PHL to GRU, and the arrival airport code for Rio de Janeiro is GIG. So if you want to just see a brief overview of the itinerary, I'm not going to go through that because we pretty much talked to it, but you can just click through here and you'll have a kind of day-to-day itinerary. And as you see, a lot of times we'll actually list out what the hotel, it will not be the Rio de Janeiro, the host hotel is not the name of the hotel. As we'll be revealing the name of the hotel in a little bit, but we have contracted some rooms, so we're safe as far as the hotel is concerned in Sao Paulo. With the big attraction of the game day, a lot of these hotels are already sold out. Breakfast will be included daily, and if any given time I have another tour or something that might include a meal, it will be listed here in the itinerary. We also have a frequently asked questions about Brazil. Right now, it says our flights included in the package. No, we're not including flights, but we are going to develop a package that includes flights from the States, from JFK to Brazil. So we're going to have a very limited amount of that package, and that will be able to. The good thing about that, if you purchase that package, you'll be able to make payments on your flight. Outside of that, you're going to have to pay your flight in full. So once we put that package out, I highly recommend that you jump on that real quick, because it's going to be a very limited, anywhere from 10 to 20 seats for that package. As I talked about before, the game day tickets are not included, but as we get closer to the dates, we will look at getting a block of tickets so you'll be able to purchase your game day ticket in advance. Do you require a passport to travel to Brazil? Always check that information wherever you're traveling to another country. For Brazil, you do require a passport, and I always highly recommend when you're traveling long haul internationally that you have at least 6 months available before your due date, if you're traveling anywhere internationally. So, as if we're leaving for Brazil in September, at least make sure your passport does not expire anywhere around March or before 2025, which mine's actually expires February 2025. So I'll be renewing mine. And anybody see my passport, I need to renew that like yesterday. Uh, E-visa, yes, you are required to get a visa to travel to Brazil if you're traveling from here from the States. We will have a link where you can get more details about those e-visas and all the requirements. I'll be sending out some information. Like I said, I'm going to go through the process myself pretty soon, so I'll be able to speak more intelligently to it. It's not like a real strenuous process, and from what I hear, you'll get your e-visa back in at least a week or two. One of the big things you always hear about is Brazil safe, or is some of these countries safe? Brazil is just like any, like if you live in Philly, like I always tell people all the time, you travel internationally, you live in Philly. I'm more concerned about being home than most of the places I travel. Um, but we are always kind of a little nervous about the unknown. Brazil is safe, but just like any destination I go to, I always encourage my clients, if you're going to go out, if you're going to hang out and experience the destination, go out in pairs, at least two people. Don't go out by yourself. Yes, you're grown. Yes, you can handle yourself, but it's a foreign destination. Just to be wise and be safe and go out with another person if you're going to go hang out and kind of experience the destination. Whether it's going to the restaurant, whether you're going shopping, whether you're going nightlife. Um, some of these destinations, a lot of times, the worst you could worry about is kind of pickpocketing and things like that. Um, Drink tap water anywhere you go to. I always recommend that you drink bottled water wherever you go. For me, even when I'm brushing my teeth, I get a bottled water and I use that daily. You can read a little bit more about the Brazil, but like I said, it's called the Brazilian Real. The dollar does very well in Brazil, so you'll be able to purchase things, meals, drinks, and things of that nature. You're not gonna struggle. It's the dollar does very well. Credit cards are accepted wisely. I do highly recommend once you get to the airport that you exchange at least a couple $100. Then once you get downtown, you can use the ATM machines or different banks there to exchange money. Brazilians, their official language is Portuguese. A lot of them speak Spanish. Uh, don't be surprised when you get to Brazil. Like I didn't experience it in Brazil, but I did experience it in Portugal. Most of the time I walked around, people were speaking Portuguese because there are a lot of people of African descent and Brazilians, people of color in Brazil and in Portugal. So they're probably going to expect you that you do speak Portuguese. Uh, when your electrical outlet is pretty different than what we use in the States. So I do encourage you to bring the converter. And as far as packing, um, for the trip, of course, you want to rep the birds, but and wear your green, but also that time of the year, average temperature is the high, maybe 85, low 70s. So it'll be pretty warm. in Brazil. Again, the travel dates, you'll be listed as September the 3rd to the 7th, but the dates will be actually in Brazil is September 4th to the 7th for the 3-night package and September 4th to the 10th for the 6-night package. Some of this stuff has to be updated. So, but bedding configurations, we will have on a form where you could choose whether you want a king bed or whether you want 2 twin beds. Those things we try to guarantee it as much as possible, but sometimes it's left up to discretion of the hotel. We never really had a problem with that. Your deposit is it's a $250. It'll be listed actually on the booking page, so it may differ depending on the package, but it starts at around $250. It's non-refundable, as well as your payments. So we always highly encourage to get travel insurance, especially not just if you travel insurance is just not for like baggage issues or flight delays and stuff like that. Travel insurance is very vital when you're traveling for health reasons as well. But I always tell people if you want to protect your trip, either A, make sure you purchase like a cancel for reason, particularly if you have some health issues, pre-existing health reasons. And if you're going to purchase a cancel for any reason, travel insurance, we'll give you at least 3 different options. Cancel for any reason has to most likely it has to be purchased 2 weeks right after you purchase, put your deposit down on your trip. So we'll give you at least 3 options. Our primary option for travel insurance is travel insured, and then the cost of your travel insurance is based off of the total cost of your trip and your age. So it varies from people to people. With that said, we have what's included in Sao Paulo, we already talked about, Rio de Janeiro, the booking process, and then you get down here, this is where you click on to book your trip. Of course, there's another itinerary here that you can go through, see some pictures of the different areas. I'm just kind of breezing through this because you could go through that yourself. But once you get ready to actually book your trip, you'll go here to the right-hand side, click here to book now. And I'm just going to do a 6-night package so you'll be familiar with it. One for myself, because I will be joining this trip. So as you'll see, most of the package, it'll say double occupancy. For those who don't know, that means 2 people in a room. So the pricing here is $790 per person. That includes 3 nights hotel with breakfast daily, includes round-trip ground transportation to and from Sao Paulo Airport, ground transportation on a game day, and a Sao Paulo city tour. So if you're booking this and you have 2 people in your room, you want to be invoiced together, you will pick 2 people. It will put your deposit amount in here and the total cost for those 2 people. If you're 2 people in a room and you want to be invoiced separately, you'll just pick 1 person, and then your roommate will do the same thing. And then there's going to be a spot on the travel form where you can put your actual roommate name and information. That way we'll know who's going to be roomed together. 6-night is pretty much similar. If you want a room to yourself, you would choose the option for single occupancy. That means the pricing is based on 1 adult in a room by themselves. You want to know what's included? You hit the drop down arrow where it says read more, 3 nights in Sao Paulo with breakfast, round trip ground transportation, city tour, 3-night hotel in Rio de Janeiro, round trip ground. Oh, it'll be actually a 1-way flight. So this will be updated. You'll include your flight from Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro, round trip ground transportation, and Rio de Janeiro city tour. So for this, I'll pick 1. I'll hit select. Let me remove this from here. So I see my deposit is going to be $400. If I wanted to get a quote for airfare, I'll add that to it. There's no cost to get a quote. Quote for travel insurance, I'll add that as well. I'll actually another add-on that'll be on here is for those who want to have additional nights, whether in Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro. There'll be a spot where you can add that. I'll hit continue. I'll put my name. I'll hit here. It's asking if this is you. Hit yes. No. Continue without authentication. And I'll actually have a video on the website that you'll be able to use to go through to see this. Gender, I'll put male. My name is already in here. If you don't see a red star in any field, that means you don't have to fill it out. Date of birth, it's easier for me just to type in. My birthday is coming up soon for anybody who want to buy me a gift on March 5th. I'll put my Cash App in the chat as well. Those who want to, send a brother a little something for the trip. So once I fill out that information, I'll hit continue. Unfortunately, you got to scroll up a little bit. Room name, I'll just put Jamaica. Would you like to be invoiced separately from your roommate? So those are two people. If you already have a roommate, but you want to be invoiced separately, then I will hit yes. You could get a room with a friend or spouse with one bed. That means you have a king bed. Room with friend or spouse with two beds. That means you have two twin beds, or a private room single. Any health issues, you could put, or dietary requests, no pork, not applicable. I'll just add that. Travel insurance waiver, please read through that. I'm going to accept my travel insurance. Terms and conditions, you can read through that as well. Then you could click here to sign electronically. By signing, I understand that it's a legally binding contract. I'm going to sign here. Hit save. Hit continue. Here, I'm just going to pay the deposit, or you can pay the full amount. I'm going to pick the deposit. We have a couple different payment options. We have a payment portal where you can go in and click on the payment portal and use that. Or you can pay by Zelle if you want, and it's the information you'll use to pay by Zelle. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to use the payment portal. You can read through the terms and conditions. I'm not going to go through all that. I'll let you to read that through yourself. I'll click on I read the terms and agree. I acknowledge and reviewed all trip details. Any comments, anything here, whether it's you have any questions, anything that you want me to know, any issues medically, travel issues, dietary issues, special requests. Maybe it's your birthday and you want us to acknowledge that and make sure we have something special for your birthday. Anything you could think of, you could put here in the comment section. I'll click here. I'm not a robot. And then hit confirm and pay. This will give you your confirmation page, but you realize you haven't paid anything yet. So you'll have your order ID is one thing you want to be aware of, and the name of the trip, which is the Bird Game Takeover Brazil. So when you're ready to make your deposit, this will give you all instructions on how to make your payments for your deposits and any subsequent payments. So if I click here now, it'll take me to a payment page. I'll put in $400 for my deposit, hit checkout. Remember that order ID we was talking about? We could put that here. So that way I'll know it's a part of your invoice. This is a required field. You see here that says required. You can put anything here that I'll know it is. Put your phone number here, your email address, first name, last name. I'm not going to get into the credit card, but you put your credit card information, the expiration date, and the security code, and then you'll hit pay. So once you hit confirm and pay, you should receive, and don't be looking at my emails. I know I got like 70,000 emails, but you'll see it receive an email with that same confirmation information. So it'll list all that information, your order ID, your name, the room, the package that you chose, the deposit amount. You could click here to view the itinerary, and you can also click here to view the invoice as well. Anytime you want to make a subsequent payment, go back to this same email, click here to make a payment. It'll take you to our payment page, and then follow the same procedure. With that being said, let me see. Let me go back to the presentation. Give me a second. We're done. I think I covered that in a pretty decent time. So that gives me 15 minutes for Q&A. Any questions? Everybody can unmute at this time. And I will, let me see the video.
Thanks, Norm. It was informative. You answered all the questions that most people have when traveling: the visa, the money exchange rate. I did look online and see some ticket prices to get a good ballpark figure what I was looking at, and I do a lot of overseas travel, so you hit on all the key points that I think is important for the trip. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's my brother from another. I'm glad he's going to be joining me. He already booked, so happy to have you join me, bro. Finally, it took long enough. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna fault you for that. Any other questions?